Welcome, friends.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm
Great.
glad that we both of us survived.
Yes, it's been tough. The last couple of hours has been tough. I have been like, oh my God, I thought I was going to have to bail. I felt really ill. And then I felt all right. And now I've said that, I'm getting a sweaty brow. But not to worry. We will crack on. I hope my sound is all right. I hope everyone can hear us very well. Mitra sounds fine. I think I sound fine. Let us know in the chat and do not troll. And
Where
let's
do we
get.
see the chat? Do I see the chat?
I think you might have to open your. I've got the chat. My chat is
All right.
on the screen on the StreamYard thing, but you might have to open YouTube.
Oh, comments. Oh, I see the comments. Y'all, I see the comments. Yeah. I was just pulling the rookie. Hi.
Hi,
Hi, everyone.
outrageous. Welcome everybody. Today we are joined by Mitrakay, and we will talk about perfume and things. We have no itinerary, no list, because we are going to wing it. Um, I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so please bear with. Excuse me. I think I've been threatening that all day. Good Lord. Something is about me. There may be something living in my face trying to do things to me, but not to worry. Mitrakay, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm glad. I think I have done a good job to hide the fact from my face that I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and my child barfed on my face.
Nice. Nice.
Um, he came and said, "Ma," and I'm like, "Yeah," and said, "I just barfed in bed," and like I was just getting up, and he barfed again. So
Oh. Oh dear.
yeah, it's just like like people are saying that your sound is very low.
I've turned it up a little bit. Can everybody hear me now? How is it now? I knew this would be. I knew this would
It's the
happen.
same.
Yeah. Dahlia says I throwed up.
What
Gross.
does that mean? I can barely hear you, so people can't hear you. Holy shit!
Yeah, I shot myself there. That was loud. Um,
Okay,
right.
sorry.
Let's try this, shall we? Because I've got everything turned up to the max. Right. How is that? Is that better? Let me know. Because it is.
It's the same.
It's the same. It might be the same for you, but I'm interested to hear
From the
what
other people.
what the people say on the stream. It's the same. Fuck. Let me know. Whoa. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Still,
I'm using something called Phantom Power.
what is that?
I don't have a clue. I'm using this fucking M-track audio thing, and it's fucking mental. I can't start shouting for the whole stream because
Yeah.
that's just not good enough. You know.
You wanna? Yeah. Is that like when you fiddle with the settings? Like, do you have one of these microphones? Hold on. You see this? Do you have one of these?
Nah, I've got one of those things where it's like, oh, fuck's sake. I genuinely don't know what to do because I have no idea what I'm doing at all. I just plug it in and hope for the best every time, if I'm being honest. What's that like?
What happens if you go and come back?
I've got fucking, I don't know. I can hear like static now. You know,
Yeah.
I've got everything turned up to the
Oh
maximum.
yes,
Like,
yes. Hallelujah. It's
is
working now.
is that better?
Yes,
Okay, what about that?
that is good. That is good.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
think.
Okay, hold on. I don't know what the StreamYard settings are and how to do it. Hold on a second. Let's go to settings on StreamYard. Let's go to audio. Oh, that might be the problem.
What you all are saying? Go higher, go lower.
Default microphone array. That. What's that
Yeah,
like?
that is very loud and clear. I think to me anyway.
That's loud and clear. You can hear us properly. It's not quiet. Everybody tell me what. Everybody tell me what it's doing now. Is that spot on? I've just changed the fucking input, like, so hold on a second. I'm going to turn this down because it's killing me. Okay, so press the noise cancellation option. Where's that?
Don't press anything. You're fine. You're fine. Oh,
Is that okay?
yeah, that's great. Now there's no background noise.
There's no background noise. Okay. Right. I hope it stays like that forever. And everything is going to be okay. You know, please let me know everything's okay. Everybody seems to be saying words like I and yes and good. And Dropout says, don't yell now. Look out. Okay, we are here. Mitrakay, I was interviewed by you on your channel, and you asked me questions of which I have forgot all. Let me ask you a question. How did you get into scents?
So I have always been into scents, like, for that kind of short answer to that question, like, always, like, you know, like body sprays. I think I started with body sprays, and my first thing was a Juke body spray, and it really stank. I remember, but I would just like, and they were small, these body sprays, and I would just get them. I would just go through them in like a month or so, and very quickly. And then the school didn't want us to wear perfumes, obviously, but I didn't care.
Yes,
Constantly. Yeah, constantly. Like, I mean, the school didn't want us to wear white socks either, for whatever reason.
Oh my God.
Remember, I lived in Iran. Apparently, white socks are super sexy and inappropriate, which I later found out that that's not the case. Anyways, and then I think I like, my dad used to have like a Cool Water Davidoff, and had like that Old Spice thing, and my mom had like few perfumes. Like, she had some Chanel's. Like, I can't remember which one, but she had some Chanel's. I would steal them and stuff, and then my sister started to make some money. Like, she's like 8 years older than me, and I would get some allowance too, like weekly. We would just go spend she liked cosmetics and stuff, and I liked perfumes, so we would go to these stores, which were kind of different than the stores that are here. Like, there was it's not like you go and spray anything on your own, and everything, like, the storekeeper is behind a desk and everything is behind them, locked. So you have to ask him to give you stuff, which is kind of annoying. Like, imagine, like, I hated it, but I also liked perfume so much that, it was just like, oh, that's
put up with it.
Right. I would ask my sister to ask for it, because God forbid if I could talk in public. So, and like, I remember I had these, like, that's this ugly ass thing. Like, it's called Frank Olivier. It looks like a shell, like a clam or something. It's like a white thing. It's called. I remember I had that one. A few of other ones. My sister used to wear Charlie a lot. And then kind of like,
I've got a massive half-liter bottle, like 480 ml of Charlie.
You have?
I don't know why. I bought it in an antique shop. Apparently, they use these like massive perfume bottles as like props when the estate agents are selling houses, like a big house. They'll put like a factice just like in a random room. You know what I mean? Just as like decoration to sell a house. Mental.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I mean, that stank. I remember, like, I could smell my sister like from a kilometer away.
yeah, it's a big unit. You know.
And yeah, so then I had some collection like that, and then what happened? It grew a little bit. Like, I got into Hermes like later, like these Jardin do this and that, and Eau de Merveille and all that. I had those for a while. And then I moved to Canada, so I became immediately poor. So and I left everything back home. Like, really, I came here with 2 suitcases of my clothes. So,
fuck.
Yeah. So I left everything back home. Never went back to collect or anything. Anyways, that's a long story. But then here, I think the first time I bought something was Crystal Noir from Versace in 2007, I want to say. I think I got a first job. I got myself Crystal Noir and then kind of grew from there. Before COVID, I bought some of my Chanels and stuff back. I had the Coco Mad. And then when it got COVID hit, and then the worst, not worst part, but COVID hit, and I went on mat leave, which was terrible because you had nowhere to talk to, you had nowhere to go to, everything was closed. And I just discovered the frag groups and stuff, and then now this is all the craziness.
Yeah,
a lot of it. But I've always been a scent person. Like, so the smells, I've always, like, they make fun of me in the family. I was like, you have a dog nose. Like, I could smell crap from a mile away. And, having 3 boys, 2 boys at home is not really helpful. There are unpleasant smells. Not pleasant.
from men.
Correct.
Just heading your way. Right,
I get into the car and I'm like, who farted? And like, they all look at each other and I'm like, y'all, like, one of you did. A lot of times there's more than one, and that's the problem.
Oh God.
But yeah, scents have like a really big impact on me. I do have like this kind of scent memories also, like they're just immediately being transported to a certain place of time in my life, and yeah.
Do you know what your earliest one is? What your earliest memory where you get taken back, and what is it?
Don't make me cry. Like, why are you?
Oh, sorry. It was your second earliest one.
No. So my grandpa, my mom's mother, and I know fart on command turned on. Anyway, so my mom's dad, I was the youngest grandchild, and he had special connection with me. He really loved me. He loved all his grandchildren, but like we had a special bond. And he was a religious man, but he never kind of imposed his religion on us or anything. He never told us like, don't do this and don't do that. Like, he was okay with all of that. And I remember one of the things that is really precious for me is like, he would put lilac petals in his prayer mat. And, at prayer time, he would open the prayer mat and the room would fill with the smell. And it was just something that I would like sit and watch him pray. And it is very dear to me. Like, I do have this French lilac that is really, this one, it's always beside me. It is from Pacifica. I don't wear it as a perfume, but it really takes me back. And Winnipeg is famous for its lilacs and lilac blooms. And I really like that anyway.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know lilacs grew in Canada. I don't know where I thought lilacs grew, but I didn't know that they grew in Canada.
Yeah, and lilacs here are different than lilacs back home. Lilacs here are almost like, there are a few types of lilacs. There's bushes and there's ones that look like a tree. We have them both, but most back home, back in Iran, most of my life I've been here almost. We have a lot of lilac bushes. We don't have trees. So, but the smell wise is pretty close.
Okay. Okay. I wonder why. I wonder why one of them's a tree and one of them's a bush.
There are lots, like, it's funny enough, like, because I have a big backyard, and one of the frag people here is a, what do you call it, plant specialist? I don't know what you call them. Like, sorry,
botanist.
Huh?
A botanist.
Yeah, probably like that. So she wanted to, I was talking to her and she's like, oh, there's this, whatever, this stream and this one and this one and this one. They're all called lilacs, but they're different plants and different shapes or forms. So there are different, I guess, strains of lilacs. Well, what is yours? What is your first hand memory?
Oh God. I'm not really sure. I think it's just like the smell of the house. Like you get like the people close to you like smell. I would remember coming in from the house and being like, it smells like my house. It smells like the people in the house, like the family has a smell. people have smells and stuff like that. I used to go to my next door neighbors and stuff and play with their kids, and their house would have a nice smell as well. And I'd be in there, and that's kind of how I base my opinion on a lot of people when I was like really young, would be like how their kind of how they would smell, you know, and how their house would smell, you know. Didn't like people who smoked, because smoke, like, it just made us feel ill, you know. Couldn't stay at people's houses whose parents smoked. Oh, excuse me, whilst I hydrate and just drop that shit everywhere. Like I would go around and I'd be like, oh God, no, this house smells of smoke. And then dog as well, strangely. But I do like dogs. But we never had any pets, and my parents didn't smoke. So for me, those things were totally alien, and they would make us feel ill. Excuse me. They would make us feel ill, you know, and I'd be like, ugh, this is gross. And then at my house, one of the first smells I can remember is my dad using that. Do you know that hairspray that like men used to use that would keep the hair in absolute, like it would keep it in place? Like one of them, and it was
for years.
Yeah, it was fucking awful with the CFCs in it and stuff like that. It was so gross. It was so gross. And then I finally got like round to, I was just playing around in the bathroom, and I found Brut and Old Spice, and decided to make some potions in the sink. And I don't think he was very happy when he found us that I'd done that. And then just after that, I remember White Musk as well by the Body Shop. Have you ever smelled that?
Yeah. I have Black Musk, but I don't have the White Musk. But I smelled that. My
mum still uses it. The Body Shop's going out of business.
Really?
Yeah, it's really fucked. It's like really fucked. It's been around forever.
That is sad. You know, sometimes I feel like all these things that it's almost like there are a lot of things at this stage for me that are going out of business. They're not going to be available anymore. And all those things. I kind of sometimes feel like it's a piece of my life is gone. Like not my life, but a piece of, I guess, memories, right? When they're gone. It's just kind of sad to see those things go, you know?
Yeah. The watching of these things that you thought was so big and powerful and strong and permanent, they'd always been there, and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore. You know, it was just, it was awful. Like, you know, you'd be ill.
It's funny, like I don't know. When I look at like an Old Spice bottle, like my dad had an aftershave that kind of that, you know, that I don't know how the weird looks like. He had that one, but I mean, if one day they're not going to make that anymore, it's just, I don't know. It has a piece in my memory, you know, like in that that bottle, but then it's gone, and I don't know. Life's changed all the time, but it's kind of, I think this is like the stage of life, though, right? Like when a lot of people start losing their parents and they get sick or whatever, and that's part of it too, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's that impermanence. I think that's one of the reasons why I get so many backup bottles. Once I've found something that I really like, really love, then I don't want to be without it, you know? And I think that instinct kind of took over a little bit too much, where I have kind of backed up too many things. I don't mind backing up a few things. Like I'm really I'm really pleased that I've got backups of a lot of things that I've got backups of. But at the same time, I'm actually I'm looking at the minute, I'm going through all my backups and like my collection and stuff like that, and thinking, I don't need that. I don't wear that. I don't like that anymore. I'm glad I had it. I can sell it. Somebody else will really enjoy it, you know. And getting to keep things, but like you say, it's like it's part of life that things go and they're gone, you know. And I think it's important to try and enjoy things in general while you've got them. It's easier said than done, you know, because I'm one of those type of people. If I got the chance to wallow for a while, then I would definitely have I would definitely have a little party for myself where I felt really bad for myself, and I'd be like, oh. But as I'm getting older, and so strangely enough, as I'm getting older and I find myself facing these problems, I'm actually better at dealing with it, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas, like when I was younger, I'd be just like, it just knock the wind out my sails. Like, what do you mean it's gone and gone forever? I can't deal with that. What the fuck?
Because when you're younger, I feel like I don't know why is this turning to a life coaching
philosophical street. Yes.
But anyways, like, so when you're younger, I feel like you either avoid or fall apart. You know what I mean? Like you don't have that kind of wisdom, and it just as you get older, you kind of realize like it's almost everything. I mean, you gotta enjoy things, but almost everything is replaceable, like including people, unfortunately. And that's actually there was a moment of life that I kind of realized I was like, wait a minute, like I could be gone tomorrow and world is gonna go on as if nothing happened. Like that's how life is, and so are things, right? In that just we make it so big in our minds, right? Like in that, oh, this thing we can't live without. And look, I'm the guiltiest of all. Like I have so many backups of stuff, certain things that I really like and whatnot. But then, you know, life is moving on. But you know, I like to, like, I don't know if you do this, but in my mind, I sometimes like to just live in the past a little bit. And it's not really things that I lived. It's just that kind of fantasy, like thinking that I could have lived in like 1920s or 1930s and what would have been like then, and all those kind of imagination things.
Yeah, I kind of feel like when I do stuff like that, it's because I know what happens next. You know, like if you live in the past, then you know exactly what's going to happen next, and it takes out that anxiety, that uncertainty from your mind, where you're like, oh God, like I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know where other people are going to be. I don't know how to prepare. You know, all of that sort of thing. But it's very potent. You know, it's very potent.
And I think part of it is that all these companies are playing with that, right? Like this is the thing. Like I don't know if there's a conscious effort with kind of discontinuing things, you know, taking them away and then producing another thing and batch code changes and reformulation shit. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's intentional or, I mean, it's not the sole reason of what they're doing, but in some ways it kind of contributes to us to kind of to FOMO, right? Like in just that, oh my God, I better like back up 100 times from this thing that's good. I remember when, I mean, I know probably you hate Baby Cat, but I love Baby Cat. And have you smelled Baby Cat?
Yeah.
Okay. That was enough explanation. I know you hate it. But when it came out, and I was like, "There's no way they're gonna make this kind of continue making this because it's quite potent." And I backed up quite times. I don't think the formulation has changed. I don't feel a difference, but that's what I think there's kind of mind games a little bit in changing things and reformulating and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, it's I mean it's part of the hobby and stuff like that, where you can really dive into it if you really want to. You know, you can be like, well, it was like this until this time, and it changed from here to here, and everything was better then, and like all of that. You can get into that if you want to. You know, nostalgia is very potent. And
it's a bit hard though, like, you know, I mean, I like when I was growing up, no, like when I was younger, I was like, I'm never gonna say like back when we were in the school, like, you know, we would do, you know how that like you know, when parents start saying, oh, when I was at school I would walk 10 miles, you know, both ways up, and I would never say those things, but it's hard not to do that, like sometimes from time to time. Like I feel like even my kids, sometimes I'm like, you guys don't know how much you.
Yes, yeah, it is. It's. I think part of that is trying to get other people to experience the world you do. You know, in the same way that you do. I found myself I used to do stuff like that. I try to let that sort of thing go because I mean, we've all done it. You know, it's like oh, like it's that sense of injustice, isn't it? It's like you. I wish I had the opportunities that you had. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, you know, you didn't. And it's. I remember, I think I've told this story before. Like, somebody was going, like, someone I was talking to, I was telling them about like my health, and they were like, "Oh, do you ever feel like, why me?" And I just remember being like, "Well, why not me?" You know, like, what is it about me in particular that makes me this kind of like special case that I shouldn't have to deal with this? You know, and a lot worse things have happened to other people, but this isn't. This is not perfume talk. Tell me, right? Tell me what your latest acquisition is. What have you got recently?
Well, that's a very hard question because let's see. I have to go through my packages and see what man, and this is bad because there are so many that sometimes it's hard to. Hold
Let's
on.
go. Let's go. Surprise. That's a trusty chair.
That's a trusty chair. That is.
I like that chair. I've got an oxblood red, you know, like it's not a Chesterfield chair, but it's like a desk chair, like ye olde one, you know. So I need a tweed jacket.
Yes, this one was on sale for like half price, so I ended up getting this one. And I like. My kids say, "Mom, you can't even play Mario Kart. Why do you have a gaming chair?" I legit can't. So one of the latest that I have, this is from the same line for that Amber and Musk is Dior Elixir Précieux line. This is patchouli.
Did you like that one?
Oh, so good.
See, I like that.
So
that
good.
Is quite interesting, actually, because I'm actually wearing a patchouli fragrance today, which is.
I'm telling you, genetics don't lie.
I'm wearing. You heard of Bois 1920?
Yes, you're wearing real patchouli.
Yes, that's right. I'm wearing real patchouli. So it's you've got to be careful because the fucked us over. I bought a backup of it, and it was the eau de toilette box because that's the one to get, the eau de toilette, and it was the eau de toilette box. But inside said eau de toilette box was an eau de parfum bottle, and I was fucking livid because it was.
You bought it on eBay or where?
I bought it on Amazon, would you believe? But it came from Germany, so I couldn't send it back because I can't ship back out to the. Sorry.
Damn Germans.
Yes, exactly. I was screwed over by the fucking Germans. I was unimpressed, so I made a video about it because WAP 1920 wouldn't do anything about it. So I was like, "Well, screw you." And that video's had a lot of traction. Actually, a lot of people have watched that, and a lot of people have disliked it. But they can all kiss my ass. Yeah, because that's just how it's got to be, like, you know what I mean. But I do love patchouli. I've just sprayed on my hand. Do you know the Prada Ramba Pour-Homme Intense?
I've heard about it, but I haven't.
Yeah, it's really good. Is that patchouli you've got there? Is that for yourself or is that for decanting?
What? This is like 3 ml total in it.
I was going to say, yeah, you could decant like an ml for $200.
Actually, now that you say that, I gotta go see my bottle of real patchouli. Is it EDT or is it DTP? Because
you've got one.
I've got one. Hold on.
Outrageous.
Find it. This is gonna be a whole stream. Hold on.
Outrageous. When she comes back, I'm gonna ask her how she gets her like perfumes in order. How she knows where stuff is.
Oh, I actually did not know where the shit was. Like I think I was sick at home with COVID, and I decided that I'm gonna do the perfumes, like, because I was going nuts. That's how it happened. So I organized it at some point.
So what is the organization? Is that the eau de toilette?
Yep, it says.
It looks like I was gonna say it looks like it. That's the eau de toilette. That's mint. The script on the sticker will rub off. The script on the sticker will rub off if you're not careful.
Oh,
you can just wipe it off with your finger.
Yeah, it's kind of like printed like this. It is very good, I must say. Like it first. So I was doing the comparison with Coromandel because they are close.
Yeah.
At first, that first blast of it really killed my nose. Like the patchouli is very patchouli-ing.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. But the dry down of it is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I have decanted a little bit, but then I stopped at 50 ml. Like I was like, I'm not going to decant anymore because the rest of it would be for me. So, love patchouli.
How do you decide what you're going to decant? Like, do you buy stuff to decant, or do you buy stuff and then decide you're going to decant it?
So, really, I started decanting because nobody was buying bottles anymore. And nobody that I knew, other than Louis Vuitton people, had kind of like the range of stuff at the time, like different designers, luxury designers. And people would often ask me, and it was like, oh, do you have this Chanel? Do you have that Chanel? Yeah, it's just going on and on. And I would occasionally was like, yeah, I can decant like 5 ml here, 10 ml there. And then I was like, why don't I put it together? And it would be interesting for someone who wants to, let's say, explore Dior, and they can try. Because I had so many, at the time, I don't know how many I have now, but I had like about 30 bottles of Dior Privé. And, if someone wants to try them all, they could. So then I put the list together, and there was the Chanel and the Dior, and what else is on my list? This is Guerlain's and some others. Like, so I don't decant everything. Like from Guerlain's, is only Arlematier, line, and even then, at certain point, I'm gonna stop decanting because I hoarded for a little bit from the ones that I like. For example, Tobacco Honey, I hate it. I don't have it. And people ask me every day, and I'm like, I got it once just for the novelty and tried it, and decanted it all, and I ain't buying that again because I hate it. I'm not going to keep something that I don't like.
Yeah.
Piche Mirage, I got that one, and it was just so freaking basic. I decanted, split it all. That came out in January. I had it in September, I think. And I split it, and that's it. Everything that I have from Guerlain are the things that I like. And of course, I'm not going to decant like vintage stuff. I just feel it's a little, I don't know. I feel like it's disrespectful to the perfume.
No, I know what you mean. I don't
know. That's a weird thing to say, but I feel like it's just kind of cringe to decant vintage stuff. Unless, like, okay, let's say, like, if I had a lot of Iris Ganache and wanted to share with people who like it, then I would. And to be fair, with people who I know really are passionate about perfume, and if I have enough of it for myself, I would share a little bit. But it's not like I'm not going to pump out like 10 ml decants of it.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. So there's not like do you buy perfumes to decant them all, or do you buy perfumes to because you want to basically cut your costs in half, sort of thing?
I don't think that I can ever recoup the cost that I put in. plus calculating, like, I'm not gonna brag. I have a good paying job. Like, if I'm saying like this is gonna take me like orders. Number one, I'm a little obsessive with my orders. Like, so I have to, make them a certain way, make sure it doesn't leak, put in like all the stickers and all other things, and I ship in the box and bubble wrap and just bomb proof it so it goes out no problem. So it takes me some time to do that. It's not easy pumping out. And sometimes it would be easier if you get a bottle of, let's say you get a bottle of 200 ml bottle, and then you just decant it all in one shot, like do a split like that. But people, when they order from me, is like 2 of the Chanel's, 3 of the Dior's, like 2 of the Armani's. So I have to go pull up all the bottles from different places. Then I find my syringes, because I have I have one syringe per fragrance, and they have special tip and adapter. I don't reuse syringes for fragrance to fragrance. So it takes a while to find the proper syringe. I have to organize myself that would be another. I have organized them so like my Guerlain syringe are in one bag and my whatever, and then kind of start doing it, which basically is an hour after the kids have gone to bed. I don't really make money this way. I'm also the most tired at that time of day, so I'm working slower.
Yeah.
But I do buy. Yeah,
No.
it helps in that. Yeah, the cost, but the speed that I'm buying, man, like it's not gonna recoup from this. I should slow down, but I like doing it. And at some point, once I get down to certain things, like for my girl, I ain't gonna buy any more of the 200 ml Guerlain bottles. Once I get to a certain level, it's gonna all stop. I'm not gonna do this forever because it doesn't worth my time, really.
I was gonna say it would drive me up the fucking wall.
I know.
Oh God, I was when Eugene first released his perfumes, he would send me a couple of bottles, and it would be like, can you just send people decants and stuff like that? And I was like, right, no bother, I'll do that, no problem, for like people in Britain. But it got me on my fucking hell. My wrist would kill us because I was literally just spraying them, and then those sprayers he's got aren't really good for decanting because it goes in and then it just like sails straight back out the other side. And I was like, oh, I'm like, this is a mess. I'm a mess. Everything's a mess.
There's no unmessy way of doing it. Like, so once I asked him, like I said, can you send me? No, I didn't say, can you send me? I said, I am sending probably about 300 packages every 3 months. So, because that's how I know, because the my post account keeps track of it.
Okay.
So I said, I'm sending like about 100 packages a month. I can just throw some, of your samples in it. In every package, people kind of get familiar with whatever. Probably same thing that you were doing, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, sure, but then I get 3 bottles, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing this? And then, like, you try to decant, and they're like, oh my God, it's kind of a hard bottles. Those are hard bottles to decant.
Yeah,
and I said, River, what do you do with this? And then it's just like, I was at a point I was just losing my mind. I was like, I'm gonna break this. So I brought the I took the whatever you call it.
Yeah,
I broke it. Yeah, I broke the stem. You can like put it into ml, and that was it. Because I can't. There's no way. Like, look at this wrist. Like, these are not gonna stop.
I was getting carpal tunnel. Like, I would sit and do them for ages, and then I'd be like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm weak.
No, exactly. And then it's just also people like, it's a lot of, I like it, but you will understand what I'm saying. I do have a social presence, but I'm not really people-y, and this requires a lot of peopling.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm happy to help people, and I like helping people, and I like talking to people about perfume, but I think part of it is there's one of you and there are many of them. And a lot of people kind of when they talk to you, it's like they're talking to the one person that they hear or see on screen, or they see their media presence, and then a lot of the time you realize it's like fucking there are like 50 other people that you've spoken to that week, or there are like 10 people you spoke to that day, and it just gets it's difficult, but I do enjoy it, and I like the people that I talk to, or I wouldn't talk to them. But it's like, fucking hell, it's like there's a lot going on, and I'm not a massive people person, like you say, which is why most of this goes online. You know what I mean? Why I'm mostly online rather than in real life, which I prefer.
Yeah, I know, and then it's just that we like it. It's certain dose, right? Like, I think for me, just also realizing that sensory stimulation is very important, and I have to really moderate that for myself. Like, I can't. It's just like at the end of the day, I'd be nauseous. Like, if I'm doing, like too much of peopling, too much of sound, too much of smell, anything like that kind of sensory things would just get me pretty nauseous. Yeah, but anyway,
curl up in the corner and put the quilt over my head. I like that kind of thing. I like that. So
Oh.
you do you have a favorite brand? Or so I know it's awful when people ask you to choose one.
No, I was going to say,
Do you have like a cluster of favorite brands?
so okay, so there's this way to answer. I know it's always my answers are long fucking winded. So Chanel will always have a place in my heart that nothing else will. Is this because that's a part was a part of my life? It's always gonna be part of my life. What is the saying? Do you want to know the pool versus oh, okay, well, sorry, I got that. I had the ADHD moment there. So Chanel always will have a place in my heart. I did enjoy Guerlain for a long time, and I still do enjoy Guerlain. I know I have a huge collection of Guerlain. It's more than my Chanel's, but the rest of them, I get curious about the line. I am really into it, and then it just kind of fades, and I like another kind of line. There's no favorite basically these days. Like now these days, I'm gonna say I like all of it, and of course, since FOMO is part of it, and then this is gonna come to the part. This is Dojima from Mona Dorio. Dojima. So like Mona Dorio, it was available and it was there, and I remember myself getting a sample of myrrh and vanilla, and probably I saw a squirrel and I got distracted and never followed when they were available. Right. So I never got on it, and then like they're gone, and I'm like, oh my god, I remembered. I think they were good, and like so now I had to look for them. Right, like it's just crazy. So now I think I have the vanilla and musk, and hopefully I'll get a myrrh. I have a myrrh somewhere in this world, and there's this one Nojima. I really want to get my hand on this weight, but seems like it's so hard to get this weight. I haven't even seen it for outrageous prices on eBay either. So.
Some absolute hooligan will have a massive stash, and there'll be someone out there. There'll be someone out there with a huge amount of Mona Diorio lurking deep within the bowels of the fucking like darkened cupboard. I'm just glad I managed to get a few bottles of Queer backed up. The rest of them, would I be backing them up for FOMO? Probably. I don't need any. Would I take another bottle of Queer? Probably. That's one of those perfumes I don't want to live without. That's an idea for a video I've had. I've had like perfumes I don't want to live without, because I've seen many iterations of that type of list. There was a tag going around a few years ago that was one fragrance to rule them all, or one house to rule them all, something like that. And I was like, bollocks, I'm not doing that. And there was another one which was like, toss out your entire collection apart from these 10. And I was like, yeah, like that type of thing, you know. But like this like fragrance I don't want to live without, which I've backed up many times, and they're not necessarily the best. They're just the ones that I love the most. And I think that that's sometimes that's quite an important distinction to make between what you think is the best fragrance you own and what you think is your fit. Like I've got a massive thing for the Pavarotti fragrance, and I absolutely love it. A lot of people I know and who I know have good taste in perfume, and like the like high end things, and they can describe and they can appreciate fragrance. I've sent it to them and they're like, yeah, it's all right. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, to me that smells like happiness. Do you know what I mean? It smells amazing. I can't quantify how and why I love it so much. It's just fucking awesome. And I think that being able to separate like your objective love, your objective opinion on a fragrance from like your emotional response to one, I think that's quite an interesting thing. Do you have perfumes like that? Things that you absolutely love, but you know they're not necessarily the best perfumes ever released?
Yeah, I mean there are lots of it. Like there are some of my cheapies that fall into that category, right? Like I know what they are, and they're not complex. They're not like masterfully blended, and they're not even special. Like they're
Yeah,
not even something that is unique, like, right? But I still do love them. I actually it's like that emotional connection, right? Like I almost get offended when somebody talks bad about them because I like them so much, but it's not really logical, right? Like it's because I know that they're not that quality. Some of like, there are certain things like and now you're gonna hate this too. It's from YSL. It's called Grand Poudre, and I really like it. It's not really masterfully blended. It's nothing very special, but I like it very much. And then there's from Joe Malone. There's Vetiver Pamplemousse. Simply like it's grapefruit and vetiver. Obviously it's not a masterpiece, but I like it. And sometimes I feel like, was it that there was a certain time in my life and a certain, like, the universe aligned in some ways, and I was in a certain mood and I smelled this fragrance and I liked it. But had I smelled it in a different time or different circumstances or whatever, I may have not liked it at all or not thought much of it. All of
yeah,
those are kind of your perception and where you are at, your essence at the time. It really affects what you like and don't like. I mean, that's that for sure. We're
yeah.
not talking about herba pura. Like, I can't even do herba pura. Oh my god.
I hate Zerjoff. I think that's such a bad fucking brand.
But on that talking that people stalking stuff, just imagine the person who sold me these 3 paddocks.
Paddock.
Paddock. There was one person, and I think he has more.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous. He must have like a connection, because I think they were only handing 3, 2 at the most out to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just being like, you couldn't just rock up. Like, say if you went into a Dior boutique and you were like, I want 10 bottles of Sauvage, they'd be like, I need, brother, you're nuts, but yeah. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they were doing that. They were trying to be quite kind of how do I want to say, like, they were trying to like spread it around a bit, you know. Like they were trying to make sure like lots of different people got a bottle. But
I mean, Hermes is always like that too, right? Even just getting to the store.
yeah, you can't just walk in and buy things. But they're getting sued in California for it. You know, they're getting sued. There's a class action lawsuit in California where they're saying you can't just make people buy tons of shit so they can have the opportunity to buy a Birkin one day. You know, which I agree with, actually. I think if you want to buy a Birkin, you should just walk in and fucking buy one if they've got one. What they're trying to do is they're trying to inflate their sales. I mean, if they had a stock price, I would, if I was a stockholder, like a stockholder, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, these numbers, the stock price is inflated because you're getting people to buy loads of shit that they don't want. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's part of, I mean, that's the sales techniques, and then there's, I mean, that's bad faith.
It is, and it turns me off. Like, there's this Chanel boutique in Holton Renfrew in Vancouver, and you have to make an appointment to go in. And like, all right, I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't doing it. Like, at least Hermes lets you in if if you're buying small stuff, right? Like, you don't need appointment for that. But like, Chanel is just like, and then they're like, all the things are dark, you can't see inside, security guard at the door. And I was like, what? Like, what do you think you have? Jeez.
Yeah.
That kind of like, and some people do feed on that exclusivity or whatever they want to call. And it's like, oh, let's go. And I'm like, just forget about that. Hi, Floating Man.
Hello, Floating Man. And hello, everybody in the chat.
Right.
Divine, I know that's not quite how the stock market works. I know that. But what I would be saying to myself is, right, that if this class action lawsuit is up in court and people have twigged onto it, right, and there'd be like, if a company I held stock in was being sued in a class action lawsuit because they were making people buy stuff that they didn't want, I'd be like, I appreciate the fact that you're trying to make more money because I'm a stockholder, but at the same time, this is going to come down around your ears at some point. You know, this is not like a sustainable way to fucking operate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit will come back to haunt you at some point because people will turn, you know, especially the way the internet is now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I don't know. I'm wondering where all these kind of companies gonna go to, all these luxury designers gonna go to, like in terms of what's gonna be the future, like in the next 20 years. Are we going to have Chanel as an independent company? Huh?
Sorry, I was going to say I've spoke to Guerlain about this. Who the fuck is going to be able to buy Chanel? It's going to be a $200 billion acquisition. Could be like the biggest acquisition ever. Do you know what I mean? It could be fucking. It could be any number. You just pick one out your ass. It could be anything. I mean, the Wertheimers have stashed billions of dollars in the Cayman Islands. Like, paid themselves a fortune out of Chanel, making money hand over fist. I don't know why, because it's still the two old men who are running it. And I don't know what they think they're going to do. They can't take the money with them. And the kids haven't shown any interest in running the place. So I think they're getting ready to sell. But, I mean, genuinely, I don't know. Unless it's the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund or some madness like that.
I mean, there's not shortage of those kind of people. Like, you know, people have... Like, I think the world, like, in terms of income is just going in, like... Some people are going... Like, just the difference between rich people and poor people is just getting bigger and bigger, like by the day, really, how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I saw something online the other day where it was like there was a guy talking about how much it was talking about how poor Britain is. He was American. He was talking about how poor Britain is. And it was one of those videos where he was talking, and then somebody did a video over the top of it, reacting to it. And they were like, yeah, but the problem is in America is if you take out the top 1,000 earners, right? If you take out the top 1,000 earners, the Americans only earn an extra. So it goes from 70. The average American income is $75,000 a year, and if you take out the top 1,000, and in Britain, it's something like 29,000 or 30,000. Right. But the thing is, if you take out the top 1,000 earners in America, it drops down to 34.
Yeah.
So it takes out £40,000 of the average. So they distort the figures so much. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I keep doing this. I keep nibbling on politics. I shouldn't, because I don't want to. But it's like it's the thing is that because we are in, on a link back to fragrance, because we are in the luxury sector of the market, which is what perfume is. You know, it's completely superfluous. You know, we're not talking about water shortages and stuff like that, you know, which is a genuine thing in part of the world. Like, because it's completely superfluous, and this is like, we call it a hobby and stuff. It's like this affects us, you know, this totally affects us. The way that brands are like pricing their fragrances, the fact that discounters don't discount fragrances anymore, you know, it's absolutely mental. I was looking on it.
Sorry, Rich. I have a package at the door. Sorry, I gotta go pick it up.
Okay, no problem. I will continue to verbiage at the people.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Maybe we'll get a live unboxing on the TV. Outrageous. It's all going down, friends. What I was going to say was, Floating Man says, politics affects it all. Don't see the harm in talking about something you're passionate about. If the snowflakes, you can't have an adult conversation with something you might as well disagree with. Well, the thing is that I kind of have said, and it's been driving me mental. It's just because it's been the only thing that, like, last year consumed all of us, especially in the English speaking world. Fucking like politics, like general elections in Britain, in America, in Europe, and there were 66 general elections across the world yesterday. Fuck that! Just I'm all politicked out. It's driving us wild. And like, we
don't want to talk about it, but in some way, it's kind of affecting everything in our lives, right? Like,
it does. Yeah, we live in extremely uncertain and weird times. You know, there's all mad shit going down. And
Christy, I was going to unbox it, but We get like a friend of mine has gifted me Wine After Month subscription. So they send us a wine, like two bottles of wine every month. So that was the delivery, not the package.
Oh no!
I got too excited. I'm like, yeah, my package is here. But nope.
Do you decant the wine?
No, I just decanted into my stomach. No.
Yes, decant it into a glass and then drink it.
Oh, believe me, I wish me luck tonight, because I think it's gonna be a rough night again. But that's all right.
Oh no!
Yes, I actually. What else I've got new? I think I actually brought some of the things like here that I wanted to show. If you don't mind.
No, God, please.
Have you seen this? Like, it's called Winter Delice.
No.
From Guerlain, and you know this is in the kind of those Aqua Allegoria bottles, which I don't really. It's not my. Most of them aren't really my thing. I think the Aqua Allegoria line from Guerlain was to attract more younger generation, right? Like a little bit more. I don't know what you call it. It's a little bit more girly and lighthearted. But this one is, I think it was a limited release. I want to take a look, and it's so good and it's so Christmassy. I guess Winter Delice, if I'm saying it right or wrong, people can correct me, but I think it means delicacy of winter. It might not be the right one, but what's going ostrich? Who's ostrich?
Someone said dodos stick their head in the sand. It's not ostriches. Dodos have got beaks. You can't have a beak underground.
I don't know. Let me see. Oh, and the notes are, you will like this one. The notes on this one is fir, pine, resin, opopanax, sugar, and vanilla.
I quite like the sound of that. Apart from sugar, have you smelled Bois Talisman?
Yes.
The new Dior. It's fucking naff. But you can actually smell the sugar, like the sugar cube. I'm not sure if it's like the power of suggestion, but you can smell sugar cube. It's weird as fuck.
And you know what? I hadn't even read anything about it. I got 2 bottles to just try and decant some. To me, it smells like glorified fire by the fireplace from Maison Martin Margiela. Really.
Yeah.
Not much of a difference. And I'm not for that. It actually, something about the by the fireplace, it smells like a certain smell that I get from barbecue, and like I think when the sweet meat sauce is like or steak sauce gets grilled, like there's that smell.
Yep.
And I can't handle it. And it's the same thing, and I'm like, nah.
I'll tell you what, right? Because you've heard of the company International Flavors and Fragrances, like IFF, right? They actually use some chemicals that are similar in both fragrances and flavors. So if they're using that barbecue sweet sauce on it, and that could have been made by someone, some of those same molecules will be going into a fragrance as well. And some smoke notes smell like liquid smoke, the stuff that they use on like barbecue foods and stuff like that. And it's rough, because as soon as you smell that, you can't unsmell it, and it's fucked.
Yeah, and it's just gone. It ruins it for you, like that scent. And you know, actually, funny enough, when you say that, because when I was at GIP, Grass Institute, our classes would eat lunch together, and there were several classes running there. But they also, like, I noticed there was this other class. They weren't really talking about perfumes, like. I'm like, what are these people doing here, right? Like, because I only assumed there would be perfumery class, but that was the taste and the food industry thing. And the same teachers who were teaching perfumery kind of rotate through that. So it's not, So there are a lot of people in the perfume industry who also work for a food company, like all the detergent and all the scented products, right? Like it's not just one thing that they do.
Yeah, it's one of the things I was put off by doing. I was put off by doing any sort of like chemistry sort of thing, because the sheer amount of heavy lifting you've got to do with formulas and stuff like that is fucking bonkers. I thought you'd be able to do it by touch and by feel and by ear and by smell. You just can't. You just can't. There's just the sheer amount of mathematics and chemistry that's involved is terrifying. And I admire people. I admire like actual perfumers who are into all that sort of thing, who can tell you about like the fucking molecules and all of the ins and outs of it. Because there's loads of people online who'll sit and tell you about ingredients, and they'll sit and tell you about fucking materials and smells, and it's like, but like, have you really actually fucking, you know, you got the chemistry background? Have you done the chemistry courses and stuff like that? That like the dry work, you know?
Yeah, it takes a lot. And actually, in our class, it was an interesting class I went. So there was one lady who is one of the 40 under 40 of Australia, and she is how do you call that? Like she's not a nose, but for wine, what do you call them? Like
a sommelier.
What? Sommelier, yes.
Sommelier.
Sommelier. Okay. She was one of those, and you know, working for a massive company, and I think she actually had this course covered, I know, by like business thing. Anyway, super smart girl. And then we had someone who is a chemist from Hong Kong, and he had done some research on smell and those things. And then we had an 18-year-old girl. Actually, was she from States? I think she was from States. Yes, she's 18, and she had synesthesia. And interestingly enough, she kind of explained how she was hired. So she was hired so it was for her, she could tell the chemical composition of something by smelling, just like super weird. And then she was hired by one of these company in Canada, actually, or like was it called Oil Perfumery or something like that, to kind of compare the formula and like detect what's missing or what could be added or like things like that to make dupes. And then Le Labo hired her, so she's currently working for Le Labo.
Boo.
Right. But very interesting class. We also had Roja as a stepson, or no, godson in the class. So and then there was good old me.
Outrageous.
Yeah, exactly. Outrageous. It was an interesting class.
Roger's
Trick, but does that make you a better perfumer?
What, the synesthesia sort of thing?
No, I was floored. So every day we smelled raw material, and the next morning they test us on raw material. So they pass on these things and smell, what is this? And you'd be surprised how difficult it is to do that. And kind of blind, not knowing what's it coming from. And she was accurate 100% of time. And what really surprised me wasn't just the natural things. It was the synthetics. She could pick on synthetics and differentiate them, which is not me. You know, actually, like a lot of people would talk about perfume and stuff, and I'm not going to claim I'm one of them. Like sometimes I have no clue what I'm smelling. Like I'm smelling, it's a composition. I don't know if it has rose, it has whatever. I'll be surprised by looking at the notes and seeing there's something in there. This is something not a lot of people like to confess.
Go on.
I don't know if you have you had any perfumes that you kind of you smelled and then you went and looked at the notes and you're like, the fuck?
Yes.
Right. Okay, what was the last one that had that effect for you?
God almighty, what was the last one that had that effect on us? I can remember one quite distinctly being Jacques Noir, and I remember smelling Jacques Noir and being like, fuck me, that smells like fucking like socks. You know, like I thought this is like a really musky, heavy, Koros, pissy sort of thing. And I looked at the notes and I was like, fucking hell, it's meant to be like a bright ray of sunshine. You know what I mean? But I got some of the dankest, nastiest shit from it, you know? And I've smelled different versions of it. There's something in there that my nose absolutely hates and like doesn't agree with me in the slightest. And then I remember looking at the fucking thing and I was like, it's not just socks, it's wet socks. Wet socks that have been worn. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what on earth is happening here? I don't like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I
Almost.
absolutely get it. Like, it's just some smells like I don't know. Is this just one ingredient? There's more than one ingredient that does to me, and absolutely appalling. Like, you know, when I smell it, it kind of ruins the whole experience of the fragrance for me. Sometimes I'm surprised. Like, I've been saying for a long time I'm not a jasmine person, I'm not a rose person, but like as I'm kind of looking at notes of stuff that I have, I was like, oh, there's a lot of things with rose and jasmine in my
Yeah.
I better not say that kind of shit. And just do whatever. Like, yeah, certain types probably are harder. I'm still not an indolic jasmine person, I think, unless I'm proven wrong. And I'm not really jam like oud bouquet from Lancôme would be like death of me. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm not a jammy rose person. But other than that, I think it's everything else worth smelling once at least.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've found myself really liking stuff, wearing stuff a lot, and then not wearing it for a while, and then going back to it and being like, I'm not so sure about this anymore.
Right.
You know? And I'm
Right.
like, fucking hell, what's going on here?
Right.
And like I think I don't sell anything that I have to think twice about selling, you know. Like there's lots of things that I've sold where I've just been like, I'm not really asked if I never smell this again, to be honest, you know what I mean? It's a very strange kind of thing where you're like, I'm not really bothered about this anymore, you know, like, and I used to love it, and then there's some things which I just haven't even wrapped my head around yet. Like there's a few fragrances I'd love to wear more than what I do, and yet here I am, I'm just staring at them, and like some stuff I haven't actually worn this year. I've got how long have I got left? I've got about 3 weeks of winter left according to my calendar, and I
live in UK. I probably have like a few months left.
Yeah, well, that's it. I changed my rotation over in March, on March the 1st, which is not the official end of winter. The end of winter is not until March the 21st.
Which is Iranian New Year.
Sorry?
We go by that solstice, so the March 21st is the Iranian New Year, first day of the year.
All right, that's quite cool. The Chinese New Year's
February.
or
this year's in January.
Sorry?
I think this year was in January, Chinese New
Yes,
Year.
that's right. That was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. What year are we in? Like, this is ADHD tangent.
What year are we in? 2025 is about as good as I can give you, or the year of the rat for the Chinese.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The year of the rat. Why you would have a year named after a rat is beyond me. But not to worry. I'm not Chinese.
What is your year?
Sorry?
What is your year of birth, you know?
Oh, God, 1985 was the year I was born, so I don't know what the Chinese year 85. Chinese year 85 was the wood ox. Kind of suits. I do look a bit like a wooden ox. You know, I'll have that. You know, I'm all right with that. I'm at peace. That's cool. Hard working, that's wrong. Patient, that's bollocks. Honest, yeah. Independent, yeah. Supportive, it depends. It depends if you deserve it or not. Compatible with rooster. And oxen are said to be the most compatible with rooster. Both are hardworking and appreciate attention to detail. I appreciate it when someone else gives attention to detail, so I don't have to. You know what I mean? Somebody else does the attention to detail. I will have the broad vision and let somebody else make it happen. You know what I mean?
You mean that you're a man? That's basically what it means.
Well, yeah, that's essentially what it is. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Mitrakay, take over for a few minutes. I'm going to dehydrate. Please,
sure.
Please don't hurt anyone. But
no,
I'll be back in a second.
I can't hurt anyone. You don't have a wrench.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. I'll be back. Okay. Hold on.
All right. So actually, guys. Oh my God! Don't kill yourself over it. He always talks when he's walking away from it too. So, hello everyone in the chat. I don't know why, but I pulled a few things out of my Guerlain collection that I thought I'd show on the live. Actually, one of them I haven't sprayed yet, and and another one I just opened. Salam Mitra. My cousin's name is Mitra as well. Hi, salam. So So Guerlain does this with our Guerlain does that with their collections all the time. I don't want to call it Guerlain because that's kind of how I don't know. That's not the correct pronunciation, but anyway. So I have Guerlain has this way of changing bottles or names of the fragrances, but the formulation is the same, and it's quite confusing because they have few perfumes that almost very close names and they're almost the same. So what I have today is this is something new I got. It's Vol de Nuit Evasion. I hope that I'm saying it right. Evasion in French. I don't know what would that mean. But this is different than your Vol de Nuit EDP. Like Vol de Nuit never had EDP, so it was EDT and Parfum. So this is different than that because this comes from a line of, and I really don't know which one was first, but these three fragrances are same. So this is totally different. So Roja Dove, I think took the formulation of this one in Britannia. So if anyone has tried Britannia, this is close to Vol de Nuit Evasion. So it's not the regular Vol de Nuit though, like they're totally different scents. Vol de Nuit regular and this one. And then they have something, I know you guys have seen it. There's a Parfum 68 and there's a Cologne 68. Oh, Vetiver Monadorio. Oh, that must be nice. But then they also have number 68. So I don't know if you could see it here. Closer. Why is this not? See, there's a 68 in there. It's called Guerlain Fragrance Collection Limited Edition numero 68. This is different than the other one that's more herbal and green. But this is these two are same. Basically same juice. And then at some point, Mitra, I love your Guerlain book. Thank you. Where's my Guerlain book? I love my Guerlain. And at some point, by the way, if anyone in Canada wants to buy this, it's in Chapters, is available, and shipping is free and cheaper than everywhere else. Anyway. So sorry, that was a tangent. And then at some point they came with this, which is called Guerlain. And it's basically, these three are the same formulation. This is kind of, it's a dabber. And then there's also Attrape-Cœur. I think it's called Attrape-Cœur. And that's the same thing. I don't have Attrape-Cœur. I don't know how many. This comes in a box like this. Isn't that cute? Like, look at the box. It comes like that. And here. And then, like, it goes on top. These old Guerlain presentations are so cute. Anyway. It's interesting how okay. Maybe I could look at the logo. It was kind of different in there than any other logos. So there are three variations of this, and I did not know. I didn't know like the 68 existed, and over the past few years, I have seen. I don't know. It's like all these very rare things have become available. It makes me wonder sometimes. Sometimes makes me anxious in terms of authenticity. But one day I'll get my hand on Attrape-Cœur and do a comparison for three of them.
I am back. I am Quack. Please hold, because I haven't got my earphones on. I can't hear anything that you're saying. Hello?
Not anything. Hi.
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 What's up?
We did show off some of my stuff. I don't even know why I have 2 bottles of Vega.
Oh, probably. Shit. That stuff's meant to be outrageous.
Yes. Yes, it is outrageous. You know what happened? I know what happened. I had put an ISO for Vega, and 2 people said they're going to look for me. But then they both found it. And, one of those people, one of those things that you can't say, oh, now I don't want it, because then they will never find you anything again.
Yes.
So I kind of committed to one. And then I found, have you ever seen this one? What's it called? Eau de Vervain?
Eau de Vervain. Is that by L'Occitane?
No, this is Guerlain.
Outrageous.
Yes, it is outrageous, and I just found this, and it's so beautiful. Vervain is the what's the plant? Vervain. Oh,
It's lemon.
Verbena?
It's not. It's what do you call it? Vervain is it lemon blossom? Is it
Verbena, right?
verbena? That's the one. Fucking hell.
Yeah. You know, the hardest bottles to decant from, and it's not because I tried, but I mean, I was trying to give someone a sample. Are these bottles like so hard to decant from? It's almost impossible to decant from these. Like this, I don't know what the technology is in these ones, but it's so good, so good. And I came across it really a good price too. It was an interesting one, and of course, I have this eau de cologne de Guerlain, the Shalimar, and Poshmark of all places. Do you guys have Poshmark in UK?
I've never heard of that before ever.
Oh,
But Marks and Spencers.
huh? No, it's not expensive. It's secondhand shit. So
No,
it's like,
Marks and Spencers. Marks and Spencers.
oh,
is like
Marks
a-
and Spencer. Oh,
yeah. Marks and Sparks.
oh, this might
Is that
have.
nice? What's eau de vervain like?
Oliver, right? It's basically it like smells like it's like verbena. It's just a lot of verbena. Every time I yank this out, and I notice that actually it's not supposed to be yanked out.
Yeah, there's been a few times. Have you ever seen the thing where people use a tin opener to open the Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances?
Yes.
That's so rough. How can you be so silly?
You know what it smells? This is like horrible to say, but this smells like there's a certain cough lozenges, and which I really like, and has verbena in it. I think this absolutely, or maybe a certain kind of candy I had as a kid. That's it really close to it. It is very fresh, but also tiny bit sweet verbena. That's basically what it is.
Have you smelled the L'Occitane verbena?
Yes, I love L'Occitane verbena. Oh, that shit is good. That shit is good.
L'Occitane's so fucking good. Oh, it's so good.
It's good. I at some point I had the shampoo of it, I had the body wash of it, I had the spray of it. That thing is so good. I don't even know, do they still make it? I think they do make it, but like they're different. Maybe there are different variations too. It's not just the only verbena.
Hold on a second. Let me get the old Google out. Let's have a look. L'Occitane vervain. Vervain.
Oh,
no, it's verbena. They don't even call it vervain anymore. It's just a verbena. Yes, they do. Oof. They have a verbena collection. So, what do we have? Oh, there's QVC. Fuck, I haven't seen you for a while. Classic verbena collection. You know, what do we have here? Reject those motherfucking cookies. Cookies are bad for you. So you've got the verbena eau de toilette, which is absolutely incredible. Fuck. The verbena eau de toilette's amazing, and then you can get the collection, which is like the hand cream and some shower gel, and you can get what's this foaming bath. I'm usually foaming when I'm in the bath because I can't get out of it. If I go in the bath now, I get stuck. I had a shower today and nearly killed us. I was like, whoa. And then there's a shower gel refill so you can. Oh my God, they've got a candle.
Yeah. Oh, they have a candle. Wow.
They've got a candle. I had no idea. I didn't know that was in. I wonder if they've got a fucking lavender candle. That's outrageous. I genuinely had no idea that they did candles, like at all. You know? I know with a lot of the.
You should try some shampoo of verbena.
I would do. I'm very careful about what goes on my skin because I'm fucking weak, essentially. I usually just put on I use Dove soap and I use something called Hydromol, which is like a fucking waxy moisturizer. And it's fucking incredible. I'm so slick at the minute. I am so soft and slick. So smooth, so soft, so slick. Like fucking...
Right. Okay, it's the perfume chat. Okay.
So white lavender. Have you smelled white lavender
No.
by L'Occitane? That's fucking lovely as well. Just imagine lavender, but with a bit of musk in it. Yes, I want to view more. I want to view everything. Oh shit! They've got a white lavender candle, right? So they've got a white lavender candle. They've got white lavender soap, right? And they've got lavender hand cream. But do they have lavande? Oh yes. Are they doing the fragrance anymore? It's not looking good, Brad. It's not looking good. They've got the candle though. I'm definitely gonna fucking purchase one of them. I think I might do it right now. I'm a massive
I've never
fan.
smelled. Have you smelled L'Occitane Eau de Vetiver? Like John is saying that. Oh, before they discontinue. Yeah.
Oh yes, I have. Yes, I have. It's actually quite earthy. It's quite a dark vetiver. It's something you wouldn't expect because, like, almost everything L'Occitane do is quite light and airy and classy and very like it's lovely. But the vetiver was quite dark. I was surprised. I was very surprised by their vetiver. I got a decant of it, and I was like, meh, I don't really want this. No, I wasn't a massive fan. Have you ever smelled Cocon de Serenity? I don't know what that means. What is
like they have different stuff in different countries, and Canada has the least of the selection. So I think L'Occitane in the US has more selection than Canada. UK may have different things. Also, did you know like L'Occitane has a totally L'Occitane like Brazil? Like it's called L'Occitane Brazil. So like there are products under there that aren't available anywhere else. Like so.
For fuck's sake, what's the Brazilians done to deserve that? Like how? What have the Brazilians got? Maybe they're a football fan. Maybe L'Occitane are big football fans. You know.
Possible. Well, I'll ask Sebastian Furtado was talking about. That's how I found out because he's
all right.
saying,
You're good lad, Sebastian. We like Sebastian in this house.
Yes, we love Sebastian. He was talking about it. Said that they have different things and just. And have you tried actually from their perfumes? Have you tried Terre de Lumière? Lumière?
No, I've never even heard of it.
So good. It's really, really good. I have this little like a 10 ml thing of it, and that's what I love about it. Like they have all these 10 mls that you can buy and reasonably priced. So you can get those like that, and that's really, really good. I bought it a few years ago, and I think they still have it. I don't even know what the notes are on there.
I mean, I still remember. I've got Eau de Cade by them. I've got L'Occitane Pour Homme, or just L'Occitane. I think they called it like L'Occitane, but everybody calls it L'Occitane Pour Homme. And I've got Eau de Beau as well, and I've got the Amber as well. But I'm selling that. It doesn't. It's a little bit vanilla for me, like Milli Vanilli, a little bit vanillic, a bit powdery. I actually wore Amber Prechot this week, and I fucking loved it.
Oh, it was so good.
Amber Prechot. Oh my god, it's so good. Mate, that's another house that's totally underrated as well. Amber Prechot. Not Amber Prechot, Maître Parfumeur Gantier.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Like they have store in Paris, and like their Storyvin is not something like it's kind of in a strange place. It's not on Saint Honoré than most perfume houses are. It's kind of a bit of a walk. And I was walking from Saint Honoré to actually Champs-Élysées because I don't know if I was walking or I took the subway, but that's kind of on the way, and I stopped in their shop. And I still regret not getting a bottle of Ambre Tibet because that's really nice too. I had not smelled that before.
Yeah, apparently most of their ambers are quite nice. Like they've got loads of them, They've got absolutely loads of them,
I feel like they're not even trying to. I don't know. I don't see any advertisement. I don't see like a huge presence in like online things. I don't know if they're not even trying or like I'm not even looking at the right place. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. They're very hard to get a hold of. They're basically online. You can get samples from them, but they do them fucking dabber shitters. Do you know what I mean? So you get dabber samples and you're just like, oh, they're fucking pain. You know what I mean? It's like you're making us do work to try or something. You know what I mean? It's like it's not fetching. It's not it's not charming. It's not fucking. It's not like, you know, I don't feel like I've accomplished something when I do it. It's just a massive fanny on, and I can't be arsed. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Well,
like,
I mean, and me being klutz, like the first thing that's gonna happen, I'm gonna spill it all over me. Like, and
yeah, I'm going to end up throwing it across the room. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, the sprayer's going to go, like, the dabber's going to go in one direction, the vial's going to go in the other direction. I'm going to be stood in the middle looking like a tit and not being able to smell a thing. That's just what's going to happen.
Right. I mean, it's just that kind of, I don't, that doesn't make sense to me. But they had, at the store, they had 10 ml bottles, not sprayers or travel spray. So, but I don't see them online very often anyway. So I bought a 10 ml of, I bought a 10 ml of, mistakenly, I was like, oh, this is Iris, and I may like it, but they didn't have a tester of it as available. I got Iris Blueberries, and oh my god,
Iris Blueberries, so good. Fuck.
Is it good? I hate it.
Oh fuck, really?
I hate it. I couldn't handle it. It was like,
I haven't smelled the new one. I've only smelled the vintage one. I think it might even be a little bit too good for me. You know, there's perfume. Like, do you know when a perfume? I mean, you've seen what I look like. So when I wear like a really fine perfume, I feel like a fucking someone putting a silk hat on a pig. Do you know what I mean? I feel like a bit like, whoa, I'm like a little bit well done up here. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I shouldn't be wearing this fucking perfume, like fucking, you know what I mean? I shouldn't be doing this. So I'm like, fuck. Iris Blueberry is a little bit nice. What is it like? What's Iris
it like?
Blueberry?
What has in it? Because I remember getting a headache as soon as I sprayed it.
So it's like bergamot, this kind of like really, it's like this kind of really fucking bergamot at the top, and then aldehydes as well. And then you get this kind of really like sad iris, like this really demure, sad grey iris kind of thing going on, you know. And it's really pretty. That's what it is. It's almost like I wear it and I'm like, oh god, I feel like I should be like a really pretty slender woman wearing this. I shouldn't be in this. I don't feel like one. You know, there are some people who feel like that even if they're not that. You know what I mean? And that suits their mood. I wear it and I'm just like, ugh. You know, it feels like it doesn't give us any protection against the world. You know, have you ever read that Serge Luton thing where he says people wear perfume as like armor? They wear it as like perfume as like protection against the world, and I'm like, fucking hell, like it really makes a lot of sense to us that, you know.
Absolutely, I do. I'm thinking of one special person who, like a very good friend of mine, and I think she does a lot of. She wears her perfumes and is not like just making a statement by in that like wanting people to notice or whatever, but you're right, like that's the way she wears it, like a warrior. It's not chill.
Yeah. Like,
you know,
No, sorry.
I was like, since I was like Googling the Iris Blue, did you know L'Occitane had Iris Blue and Iris Blanc?
No, I didn't know they had Iris anything.
And there we go into rabbit hole.
Oh shit. Let me
check. I have
to
figure it out. It has blackcurrant though, so you might not like it.
I've got Iris Polida shower gel. Christ, I bet that's incredible. There's body milk, which is, I don't know. I don't like the idea of that body milk. They don't have it in this country. The Iris Polida Eau de Toilette 50 ml, 60 quid. What's this? Herbar Pour L'Occitane Iris Polida Eau de Toilette.
Herbar is good. I love Herbar.
A feminine and modern fragrance with the unique floral enveloping scent of Iris Polida. See more. Immerse yourself in the allure of Iris Polida, Grace's coveted blue gold, a treasure in perfumery symbolizing renewal and the blossoming of summer. This floral green iris scent is a harmonious blend of striking freshness, a subtle herbaceous iris floral heart, and warm musky tones. I'm not reading all that fucking hell. I thought that was just a couple of lines. It's not. It's an entire book. All right, the bergamot, rhubarb leaf, lemon, holy grass, orris butter, incense, and soft. What kind of fucking holy grass is it? Does it pray? Does it attend church on Sundays? What the fuck?
No, it makes you see God.
Yes, that's right. It's been smoked too much of it, and it'll make you see God. Fuck.
Maybe that's a code word for marijuana. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it is. That's a good point, actually. Maybe it's just like fucking. Maybe it's just like weed. You know what I mean? Just extremely potent stuff. Fucking spray this holy grass. Never smelled a perfume with a good cannabis note, by the way. Never smell. I don't know that it's possible at this point. You know what I mean? Like
I don't. Yeah. It does something to me. As soon as I smell, I know it hits my nose, and I'm like, when I moved I was so naive. I didn't know anything about. So back in Iran, people use hashish, not really marijuana. Not back then, anyways. Right now, probably marijuana is a thing too. So I wasn't, and drugs is super taboo. So back then, especially, I'd never smelled even hashish, so I didn't know like what this thing was like. I had my first alcoholic drink. I was 21. So like I was pretty proper. So then I'd moved to Montreal and like had this like a metro station, like the subway station is called Barrie UQAM, just by University of University of Quebec. I don't know. As you would get there, and there were lots of people would hang out, but that's a special part of the city. A lot of homeless people and whatnot. And it would just be, I would smell piss, but I would also smell something else, and I was like, "What is this? Like, smells like piss and goat poop." And I haven't been very much exposed to goat poop either, but like, that's how I could describe it. And it took me not years, but a year and a half, when I lived in this kind of apartment, and I would come. I was telling my friend, and we were going to my place, and I said, "You know what? As soon as I come home around like 3 or 4, this like the whole building smells like goat poop, and I don't like it. It's like reminds me of metro station." And she got in, and she's like, "Well, let me tell you, a lot of your neighbors are smoking pot."
Outrageous.
All right, so that's what it is.
Weed's got. When I was younger, my drug of choice was hash. I smoked hash. Because it was before all the hydroponic equipment became available, because obviously weed doesn't grow very well in the climate that I live in, with it being as shit as well. It's just as changeable as it is. Anyway, we used to, like, well, I say we, it's not like I was like doing it myself, but cannabis used to be imported in like blocks of hash. And that's what I would smoke. And I always really loved that kind of dark, like patchouli chocolate, henna smell of, and then with a little bit of the weed mixed in as well, a little bit of green. Never have I ever found a perfume with that kind of savory brown green, kind of slightly sweet kind of perfume. Never have I found that. Do I want to smell like that? Probably not, if I'm being honest, but I would like to be able to just smell it without like breaking the law. You know what I mean? Like, I would like to be able to just like possess some and smell it and burn it every once in a while, but I wouldn't want to smell like that. And to be honest, weed and stuff like that's fucking everywhere. Getting a whiff of it every once in a while is quite, because you'd be walking down the street and somebody would just be walking past you smoking a joint and you'll just laugh. Do you know what I mean? Because there, but for the grace of God, go out. I used to fucking do that when I was young, and do you know what I mean? But
was it legal? Like, is it legal?
No, it's still it's illegal over here. It's illegal. I mean, it's not a major crime. People kind of just think fucking. People just think fucking. People just think, just fucking whatever. The police will arrest you, especially if you're selling it. Last time I met up with Alan Hansen in Leeds, we were walking down the street and we just saw this guy, fucking 10 police officers descended on him. And we'd been walking up to people, literally, like, not even 2 minutes earlier, the bloke had offered me a bag of weed. And I was just like, no, I'm not buying shit fucking Leeds weed. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not doing this.
No.
I'm not.
Though, like, sometimes, like, I know one particular person, and like I am very sensitive, but like when I go to my youngest daycare to pick him up, I know there's one car. Just as soon as they open the door, it thinks that somebody has been hotboxing in here.
Yeah.
And anyways, I mean, it's everywhere, and it's not just that. And now there's shatter and also the other things. But you would say the hashish smells different than the
Yeah,
pot
it's because
smoke?
it's because of what it's mixed with. It's because like it's not just, and the fact that it's oxidized as well. The way that it's oxidized, and like the fact that some of it can be held from. So what you'll get is you'll get like a bit. So you get like a little square bit, 2 inches by 4 inches or whatever, right? And you'll burn some off one side, and then you pick it out and you sprinkle it out. The bit that becomes freshly exposed stinks, and then it oxidizes and it gets the coat over it. Do you know, like when you're in chemistry class when you're young, and the metal, there's a really soft metal that they'll cut, and and they'll cut it, and then you watch it oxidize in front of your eyes, and it goes from being white and shimmering to being like a dull silver color really quick, like hashish will do that. It's really strange. It's really strange. But I used to love that. That's like I want to say childhood memory. I wasn't a child, but like it feels like I was a child.
Let's pray you were.
But I don't know that I'd want to smell like that. They went through this whole thing for quite a while, like about 7-8 years ago. 7-8 years ago, where it was like there was this thing. Carolina Herrera released a cannabis fragrance, and they were like, "Oh, it's going to be like the smell of the summer. Everybody's going to be smelling like cannabis." Never appeared, because it, like, the people who smoke weed are very into it, and they know what they smell when they smell it. And if people who are smoking it and you try to tell them this one smells like weed and it doesn't smell like weed, they're going to be pissed. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be like, I've been cheated. What the fuck? Think you can sell this to me? It's shit. Fuck off. You know?
Right. I mean, yeah, I haven't, interestingly, I was talking to, have you ever had Mark Buxton? Buxton? Is that how the name is?
Mark Buxton, I've heard of him. Yeah, he's a perfumer.
Yeah. Have you ever had anything from his line?
Not from his line, but I know he's done a lot of stuff for, was it Comme des Garçons, the early stuff?
The guy is a hoot. Like, is one of the people, like, and when I went to Excellence, I met him, and so funny, like so funny. And I'm sure he uses marijuana, but then he and his perfumes, there are a few of them, and one of them is called Emotional Drop, and which I really like. And he was talking about when, I don't know where he was working at the time, not in his own line, but he was the first one. He was saying that I was the first one who brought the idea of putting cannabis into fragrances. And at the time, the company was like, well, don't be an idiot, whatever. And then, Le Labo Vetiver is Mark Buxton. Oh, interesting. And now everybody is putting like cannabis in fragrance. I mean, this is the thing though, right? Isn't that interesting that a lot of these things, I mean, fragrance could be become there are a few ways that a fragrance can be actually habit forming. There's the buying, there's the smelling, there's the all sort of stuff in it, but also that the industry has been putting literally addictive notes in it, including alcohol, tobacco, gourmand, all these food stuff, and now cannabis, right? Like, what's gonna be like? Where are we gonna have like an MDMA perfume? Like,
I mean, to be fair, there are some fucking perfumes do give off that kind of fucking MDMA. Have you ever heard of is it China White? There's a perfume called China White. Is it by Nasamato? Nasamato have got a perfume that is meant to be inspired by heroin, because that's what China White is. China White's kind of heroin. And they've got a perfume that's inspired by that. There is also another perfume. See, I find, do you know opium? Like, not the drug, the actual perfume. I find that quite narcotic. Like, I find that quite
because I from Iran, like
I was on morphine for a long time for me back, and it gives you this kind of sick feeling in your stomach, like it makes you feel like you want to throw up a bit. And opium, the original opium, kind of makes me feel a bit like that. I'm not a big fan anymore of the original opium. I was a huge fan when I first smelled the vintage. I was like, this is it, because of the resins, and it was thick and rich and sweet. But after a while, I got to the point where I was like, fucking hell, this reminds me of something. And then I was like, that's it. It reminds us how I felt for years when I was taking opioids. Just gives you that kind of sick. And then Deluxe Lexes. Tuscan leather is supposed to smell like cocaine. It's got that chemical, that abrasive chemical smell, you know.
I've never smelled Tuscan leather. I don't know what it smells like actually.
Have you ever smelled Tuscan leather?
No, never Tuscan
Jesus.
leather.
Tuscan leather's got that chemical smell. That's what it's like. It's grim. I don't really like it. Let me think of another perfume question to ask.
Here, I have a question for you. Let's answer it. What is the cringest term? What are the cringest terms that is being used in fragcom or in terms related to fragrances that you kind of get a twitch when you hear?
So the whole panty dropper thing has kind of dropped off a little bit. I think that's been used and it's died off a bit. That was embarrassing. The one that's really bugging me at the minute, right, is the one where it's in the thumbnail and in the title sometimes, where it says better than the original, and it's like, oh, you fucking bastards. And it's like they'll say what they always say about clones, basically, in the video, but it's become a massive thing that I've been noticing recently. It's been around for a while, but that whole thing, better than the original, and it's like, no, it's not. It's a shit knockoff, and that's how they're selling it for fucking 10% the price, and they're using you to fucking push it because you're cheap as chips. You know, that's what it is. There's a few others in the chat. There's Juice. Yes, that Juice kind of pisses us off because it's not juice. It's perfume. It's not juice. You're not drinking that shit. And believe us, I've had enough of it in my mouth to know that I don't want to. Germs says niche quality. Niche quality has completely lost all meaning. Like the word niche has completely lost all meaning at this. But somebody says niche, and it's like really, really distant thunder. You're not sure if you actually heard it or not. And then if you kind of lean towards the fact that you've heard it, then you're kind of like, was it actually thunder, or did somebody just drop something around the corner? Like it literally, it's like, like someone says niche quality, it's like niche isn't quality anymore. It's shit. Like the nomenclature is absolutely dead.
I mean, because there's no, like, there was, I mean, at certain time period, I don't know when it ended, but there was a definition of, you remember I sent you like 550 pictures from Scent Explorer, I think, well, not Scent Explorer, Exxons, that was the definition of niche, like all the bottles looks the same, and there's this, and then you can call it niche or whatever, something like that. But then there isn't that anymore. There's no definition, was never too clear. So, and I think it's kind of got murky in that. Like, it's something that doesn't mean anything when someone says, and I hate it when people ask me, are you into niche fragrances only? Are you a niche snob?
Yeah.
Whatever that means. I don't know what that means. I like whatever smells good. So.
Yeah, I mean, I went on Les Odorants, and the topic was, is designer dead? I think designer's been dead for quite a while. Designer perfumes are just like, I mean, the very, at this point, designer perfumes are just hovering above clones and dupes and stuff like that. That's because half of them are clones and dupes. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them just smell like other stuff that's being released by another fucking house. Guerlain says, is insert perfume name still good in 2025? That does me tits in as well. I'm like, is it still good in 2025? Well, I mean, was it ever good? Probably not. If your favorite perfume influencer is talking about it, it was probably always shit. 2, I mean, has it been reformulated? I mean, it's like, is it still relevant? Has perfume moved on since then? It probably is still good. I mean, people are stretching for content now. You know, it's content for content's sake, and it's just the drizzling shits. It's like
everyone can go up there and, like, I'm not saying I'm including myself, my channel is new, but everyone can go there and have a verbal diarrhea about anything, right? And everyone listens to verbal diarrhea.
Yeah.
Whatever. I feel there's that thing is is gone, and it's just kind of, for me, actually, one word that for me, I gotta say this because otherwise I forget. For me, is the word cologne.
Okay.
When people refer to any sort of fragrance as cologne,
Yeah,
I
like
don't.
any man scent as a cologne.
No, I just say like they just talk about it as a cologne. There's a certain stereotype I have in mind, and often they use this kind of cologne. I'm just gonna draw a picture of these stereotype for you. You know, back on old day in Iran, like you would be like, you're nicely dressed and whatever, and you're a relatively okay looking girl, and just walking down the street, and there are like a couple guys like looking very douchey and not. And as you walk by, they call you like catcall you.
Yeah.
I always see, I don't know, as soon as somebody says it's cologne, like I said, do you have this cologne? And I'm like, oh my God. That's the mental image I get. I don't know why I do things like that, but and I know like a lot of people, if they're not really into fragrances, like some people still call it cologne, but it's just, for me, it's just a little moment, rather.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It's yeah, there are people, there are things like association. I think association is quite a strong thing in fragrance because I find myself doing this with all aspects of fragrance as well, because fragrance is so potent and because it goes straight through your limbic system. And because it's linked so directly to your memory, like I can smell an ingredient or a chemical in one perfume, right? And I will smell that same chemical in another perfume, and it will take me to the original perfume I mentioned, even though I don't know, that I don't know that is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, whoa, well, why does it smell like this? And it's like, well, because note listings are completely arbitrary and don't really mean anything. They're just branding put out by the brands now.
And you know what's interesting? Sometimes that happens. Like, it's not even about the perfume notes that I find, but then I look at them and they're both from the same perfumer. Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
like,
you can tell the style.
Right. Like, it's just like kind of like, this reminds me of this. Why is it reminding me of this? Even though like might not have a lot of notes similar, but then I look at the perfumer and I'm like, interesting.
Yes, like stuff by Jean-Claude Lehner. It's quite. I mean, if you don't know, like sometimes I'll smell something and I'll be like, oh, that smells like Jean-Claude Lehner, and then I'll smell something else and it'll be like, oh, that smells like Jean-Claude Lehner, but it's actually made by someone who he either taught or he studied with Pierre Bourdon, and I'll smell it and I'll be like, oh, this Pierre Bourdon smells like the Jean-Claude Lehner perfume. And it's very interesting how that, and I mean, this is another phrase that gets used in fragrance a lot, that DNA, that stamp, that kind of framework, can that style can carry. And it's very interesting how that happens. DNA is a fucking big one as well. I remember Dava and Jacques from Fragrance Bros complaining about the Mugler DNA word 10 years ago. So it's like,
that's why I say, like, you know, this is kind of, it's actually, that word is the reason, because you and I have things in common, and that's why I say, like, I make fun of it. It says our genetics don't lie.
Yes, yes. It is. It's very strange how we'll both pick up on the same things about the same things that we had no idea that we both felt that way.
Right, but I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, people kind of, two things that reminds me the same is like, oh, they must have the same DNA. I mean, like, I don't know about that. Have you, FYI, have you ever tried? Had you ever been into Henri Jacques perfumes, or have you, like, what is your opinion of Henri Jacques?
So, Henri Jacques, Have I smelled? I think I have smelled. I've smelled like a blotter, but like a used blotter. So like I've smelled like a blotter that somebody else has had for a while, smelled and then sent it on to us, because that's what they do. Like they'll spray a blotter for you and you can smell it, but you can't have an actual sample because they're worth like fucking £50 a mil or some shit like that.
They put it in an envelope and give it to you. So you
exactly. It's like you're not really supposed to have this, but you can put an envelope and take it away, and like you probably get robbed on the streets of London for it. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit that happens with that. It's the smell, rich and beautiful and thick and complete and luxurious, and the it kind of goes back to that thing I was talking about before. They might be a little bit too pretty for us. Do you know what I mean? They might be a little bit too good, but I enjoy smelling them. You know, I enjoy smelling them.
Like, I think one of the best decisions I made, it was just to go see the Arnie Jacques store in Paris. Like, it's something that anyone should see. Like, it's very interesting the way they had set up. Like, they have this kind of consultation area, and you sit. It's almost like a bar, and the lady brings in the material and like different things, and just the parfum versus the EDP concentration. The oil versus the EDP concentration, and I was surprised how I liked some things on EDP better than parfum, and it was, one of them was one fragrance called Feruzia, and on an EDP formulation is quite powdery and beautiful, and has mimosa, but not as strong as like the parfum. And I just couldn't stomach parfum, and I couldn't decide, so I ran away from the store, and I should have bought it back then. But I ended up with a blue vanilla from That's a Beautiful fragrance from them. I mean, the price, yeah, it's not really justifiable, but the fragrances, at least, are good quality. And years ago, I won this decant of Mrs. Y. It's called Mrs. Y from Arnie Jacques in a raffle. Oh, this is something
you won it in a raffle?
Yeah, I won it in a raffle. Yeah.
Wow, someone was fucking balling with those prizes. That is mental.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually like I think I won it for free actually on that raffle. So what happened was, this person had raffled a fragrance, and then there were some people, the numbers got messed up or whatever, and he said, for the people whose numbers got messed up, I'm going to do another raffle, and it was just free. You didn't have to pay. Like, you just basically a draw at the point. And I end up winning this, and I was like, I'm so stupid. I should put this in a better thing, but this thing leaks every time, falls over. And I've lost at least 2-3 ml like that. But this is like, but the whole room smells like that. Like, it's just so good. It's ylang ylang, jasmine, iris, lily of valley, damask rose, and tonka bean. And it comes in these kind of weird shape. If anyone wants to Google it, it comes in these weird shape bottles, not regular Arnie Jacques bottles. I don't know what they call this line, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
Have you smelled Nila Vermeer?
Nila Vermeer. So, who is Charlene? And my friend, she was looking for something. In fact, she may have brought something with Nila Vermeer. I have not that I've owned. I don't. You
haven't smelled the Nila Vermeer?
I don't think it's hard to get it here. It's really hard to get it.
I think Brooke from St. Celia would ship samples. I mean, you'd have to pay shipping and all that sort of thing, but she had the samples. I got the sample set, and I sold them to Houdini, I think. Usually I give my sample sets away, but it was quite an investment because they're quite expensive. Just when you were talking about the weird shaped bottles from Henri Jacques. And I mean, if you like cardamom, the cardamoms in Nila Vermeer are absolutely mental. They're fucking great. Absolutely brilliant, but they're expensive perfumes again. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
They're expensive. They're really nice. I imagine, I don't know, maybe there would be some people in the United States who would like to smell Nila Vermeer, so you might be able to decant some.
But you know what? This is the thing, though, and that's even the sad part of decanting and why I'm going to stop. Just a lot of demands isn't for good things.
Yeah.
People keep asking. I was like, can I have tobacco honey? Tobacco honey. I was like, I hate that shit. No, I don't.
Yes. It is. It's saccharine, diabetes smelling fucking like just sweet, sweet, sweet. You know what I mean? It's that fucking quick dopamine high that you get from like anything people are after, that sort of thing. Double sweet, fucking foul. It's excuse me.
Like I have like rose cherry in my Guerlain like list. Not one person has asked for rose cherry, which is a beautiful fragrance. It's kind of like it's supposed to be like it's almost a reformulation of French Kiss, which I have 2 bottles of. It's a gorgeous. Not one person has told me, "I have a decant of rose cherry." I feel sad for it. I feel, you know, or like Amber and Ylang. No one ever has to have a decant of it. The other one, the Oyet, I don't know, Pope or whatever you call it, is the Louis. Before that, and before it was discontinued, nobody would ask like, "Do you have a decanter?" And now people are asking, but just most likely because of FOMO. Like, but I feel kind of like, why nobody wants you? And they're like so many, and then everyone though, like they, or like when something good comes out that I feel like it's interesting and beautiful and whatever, nobody wants it. Nobody ever even asks it. It's just I'm like, all right. It's kind of feel bad for them. I mean, I guess that's the market, right? Like, no, I'm not blaming anyone or everyone for what they want, but I just feel like I'm in a place in my life that I want to share things that I like with people that I like. I mean, eventually that's going to be it. Like, I used to post more often, my kind of list and stuff, and now it's just barely word of mouth. Like word of mouth, basically, people come to me and text me.
Once like in regulars and stuff like that.
Once in a blue moon, I may put out my list again, but usually just word of mouth. And the most enjoyable one was when someone, I should maybe watching here, but someone came to me and said, "Mitra, here's $200. Make 5 ml decants of several fragrances. You know my taste. Bye."
Fucking hell.
And I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it. And it was the most enjoyable part was I did them and I thought, like, I went and looked at what I've sold to him before and a few posts of him. And then I made the decants and I sent to him, and I was sitting on that tracking, like every day checking the tracking. Did he get it? Did he get it? And then he did a very nice thing. He opened them up like while I was talking to him, and like and he really like, and I could hear that he was really excited and it was genuine about it. That was really rewarding. Like that's actually something that I would like to be doing. If we would pay for my life, it will never be in my retirement. Maybe I can do, I don't know, consultation.
Yeah. I mean, I remember George the Fragrance Apprentice did that for a while. He was doing paid consultations and stuff like that. Some people would like to do it. I think you've got to have quite a big presence first so that people know who you are and that you're available to do it, you know. The decant thing, like a scent bird kind of thing, but with interesting fragrances, that would be quite fun. You know what I mean?
Can you just tell me what kind of fragrances you like, and I'll offer you, I don't know, 5 or 6 or whatever, and just whatever, something like that. Like even now, when I send stuff, like Crowley and I, we've been like buying a lot from each other, and like it's just a joy to hear somebody excited about something that you picked for them. Just some.
Yes. When I used to buy like big hauls off of Noosh, the stuff I would look forward to the most was the little
free stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, the little freebie things and stuff.
There's surprises, like it's almost
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like the soaps, he used to send us the soaps and stuff like that, and I'd be like, it's like a vintage Balenciaga Paul Homme soap. There's like and they come in the little trays as well, and it's like fucking get in, and it's like I love that. And I love the vintage polo, you know, and there was a vintage Egoist soap. I'm saying vintage Egoist soap. I mean, they haven't done it for years, so it would have to just be vintage. But it's like all those like little like free things, like not because, like you said, not because they're free, but because they're surprises. You know what I mean? Like I love a surprise. It's like the closest thing we get to having like Christmas again as kids. You know what I mean? It's like, like little minis. Little minis used to send little minis. Do you know what I mean? And like, I love a mini. I absolutely love a mini. They're so cool. It's just essentially, I mean, a smaller version of anything that's bigger is always cool. Do you know what I mean? So if you get like a, do you know like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? If you buy like a little ornament of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, it's dead cool. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh look, it's like
always that moment of aw.
Exactly. You're like, it's just a little Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's only about 2 or 3 inches tall. It's leaning over. It's tiny, but the real big one's in Italy. But it's all right. You're here with us now. Do you know what I mean? I love that kind of shit.
It's also like there's a little bit of that caring. Like it's just that somebody thought about you. Like somebody wanted you happy.
Somebody wanted to do something nice for you.
Yeah. And Rob says, I've heard that many times in my life. What?
Oh, good grief. I'm talking about minis.
All right.
Well, we have made it to 2 hours, and this is how long I usually go. I have made it. We have made it. You have stuck with me. Thank you very much. It has been fun and a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. And
thank you for inviting me.
Yes, we shall do this again. We should do more streams and do more content. I like it. It's fun. Hopefully, I won't think I'm going to fucking keel over the next time. I nearly cancelled this live stream tonight, people. I went to the garage, and upon leaving said garage, I was like, fuck, I'm going to fall over. But I didn't. So, and I didn't throw up or anything. Thought I was going to be ill. But I think I might. Oh, I hear irate babies. So, yes, we will go before children attack. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Thank you, Mitrakay, for coming on. It has been immense. I'll see you later.
See you later. Okay.
Mitrakay has been removed from the stage so the babies don't get on screen. Okay. Thanks very much, everybody. It has been fun. Thanks to Mitrakay. Thanks to you. Thanks to me for not being sick. And I will see you all again soon. Good night.